Welcome everyone. This is the brand new Mortgage Heroes weekly podcast. Welcome to our brand new setup. You have Andy Cruz here in business development. We got
Brian Landeros, loan officer here at Mortgage Heroes.
And Will Flores, Mortgage Heroes.
So we came to the conclusion after doing a lot of shows last year that we needed to have a little bit more of an incorporated conversation because we're seeing different things, hearing different things. We communicate with a lot of different business people in the local marketplace at a variety of levels of experience, what kind of role they play within real estate, and we also represent a broad client database that spans multiple generations, first time, second time, third time buyers, investors. We're going to compile all of that into this brand new show format, and here we go. This is the
This is it.
Podcast
2023.
Yeah, so welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to be doing this show every single week, and it will be the three of us coming to you every single week, talking to you about what's going on in real estate, what to look out for, what our projections are, what our opinions, feedback, observations, trends we see happening, so that you are always at the tip of the spear of what's going on in mortgage real estate, so you can win in 2023. Thank you guys for joining us for the brand new year. We hope you had a great Christmas and a great new year. What did you guys do for Christmas?
So for Christmas, it was my first time, being in our house. Shouts out, my landlord.
Whoa.
No, but it was honestly a great experience, being able to be with my family. My son just turned one this past year. He was cognizant about what was going on. He was able to open a present, being able to, experience really what Christmas is all about. And I feel for me, that was the best experience we had. For New Year's, we made it out to Tahoe. We're out there for a couple of days, and it was really fun. There was a lot of snow. So it was just super excited to start the year off with just building experiences, giving my family an opportunity to go out and travel, and other than that, it's been great. But I am so excited and I'm so happy to be back here. I mean, we're here podcasting at the Mortgage Heroes headquarters, so it's just it's amazing. Like, this is the best thing that I would want to start the year off with. So for me, I'm super excited to get right into it. Let's go.
So what'd you do for Christmas?
Well, I tell you what, all I did for Christmas was enjoy family. Nice. All we did was just sit around, watch a couple of movies. We'll watch Avatar 1 just to get reacquainted for that second one, even though we did watch that one. So a lot of the family members didn't watch, but it was a great movie. Two thumbs up.
I have a question for you that you didn't know I was going to ask today. What is it like having Christmas as a grandpa now?
Gee, woo, that is great. I tell you, life is different, and you guys all know that. Once you hit, the younger age of being a grandpa, right? One way of looking at it, but it's different, Andy. It's a different love. They start crying, you just pass it on, and that's it. They deal with it, I don't change diapers anymore. I already did it 5 other times with my other kids. So 5 boys. Yeah, 5 boys is nuts. But none of that. And then New Year's, we just tucked in. I think we did all the celebration all year long, where we got to travel quite a bit. And, now we're all done. Now it's time to go 2023.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I'm stoked for this. I'm stoked for 2023. I'm excited to do this with you guys. Like, recording with him and I having conversations. I'm doing Monday Mortgage Minute. I'm talking with you, and I'm like, wait a minute. I think all things need to coalesce. And so at the end of the year, when we decided we were going to do this, I've been waiting since then for this day to come. So I want to jump right in. We ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let me just share one last thing.
Go for it.
I'll tell you guys, all year long, I was having a difficult time with it, right? Because I hate my voice. I hate seeing who I am at times, but that's who I am. That's how I sound.
100%.
A real man's voice. Everybody needs to hear it. So I need to share that.
All you had to do was put on the headphones, talk in front of the mic, and Brian, wow, my voice sounds really
It's one of my favorite things to say. It was like, you don't like the way you look in camera? This is how you look in person.
But hey, thank you everybody who's tuned in and who's been supporting us throughout the 2022 journey with me and giving me the confidence to, want to do this. So, knowledge is power when applied. And so that's all we're here to do is give that.
100%. So let's get right into it. Let's go in 2023.
We're going to jump into some things. So we're going to start first with a little bit of a 2022 recap, guys. In my notes here, I want to talk about some big takeaways. What were some of the major highlights that really defined 2022 in the real estate and mortgage landscape? Brian, what do you got?
Okay, well, right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and speak about the rise of rates. You know, from the beginning of the year, we were at, average 3.5 in January, and we ended off the year around the 7% range, right? So I feel, that's the big elephant in the room. So let's just go ahead and tackle it and really just give people a point of view and an idea of what we think the rates are going to go, what they've been doing, what they're going to do, and what the Fed has planned. So
one of your big 22 takeaways was the
Fed, the rates just spiking. Yeah. And that I feel like really set the climate for the rest of the market, along with everything else that happened. But I feel that's like, what really kind of just put people at halt and was like, okay, well, we got to restructure, pivot, and figure out a better way.
Yeah. And that's a great word, actually, you pivot. One of my biggest takeaways was going through this, seeing the people's fear, like, oh my God, what's my rate? But learning how to pivot, right? Yeah. Give them that comfort. Seeing that now we got a 3-1, 2-1, and a 1-1 buy down. That was a big game changer in 2022. So big takeaways of learning how to adapt to the new environment and continue to push on forward.
And I think from all ends, from the consumer, from the real estate professional, really learning how to adjust to the new market, for buyers understanding that money wasn't as cheap as it was 1-2 years ago, where you didn't even look at the fees, right? All you looked at the payments, so low, hell yeah, sign and let's go, right? Right. And now we're noticing that clients are coming back with, well, what's this fee? Why is this there? So it made people be a little bit more critical and more aware of what's happening. Cautious. And it wasn't just, cautious. It wasn't just like, let's shoot from the hip and let's hope that it makes sense and it sticks to the wall. Now
it was at 2.25, Brian. Why would they?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Why would they? But now it's, tables change and things are a lot different. So how do we pivot from that?
Well, we're going to talk about that and about when we get to 2023, what we think is going to happen next. One of the things I wanted to bring up in 2022 for our recap was the mass influx of ADUs that hit the market or that began their process of hitting the market. I think as people had these 2.25 or 2.5 from 2020 or early 2021, coming to 2022, 3 and 3.5 seemed like, oh my God, the sky's falling. Well, now you're like, man, I'd kill to have 3.5. But people that are in that position where they had a lot of home equity and maybe they had that really low fixed first, they're like, okay, let me get that HELOC, let me do that ADU. We do have a little bit of a shortage here in San Diego. And when we ended 2022, that doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon. And then with affordability kind of crunching down on people who are that, salary earner, hourly earner, places like this are going to be in demand. So I think locally here in San Diego, that was one of my biggest takeaways is you already saw people that kind of are looking through timeline a little bit going, we better start making some places available. And then for themselves, semi-selfishly or 100% selfishly, like, how do I create some income on my property? How do I offset this expense I incurred personally for this residence by having another place so someone can stay and pay me some rent? So that was something that really ticked up.
I know, absolutely. I mean, I'm telling you, everything changed so quickly that, I was singing a song on the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me higher interest rates. It was a different tune, Andy, but it was just like a light switch, right? Everything just, boom, switched so quickly and everything just felt like, whoa. It was just, people who were back in 2008, 2009, I know it's not a comparison yet as to what's going on with that, but it certainly did feel like this eerie feeling how everything just climbed up and like, boom, business just went down.
I feel for the people that were in the industry felt that right away, but on the consumer side, some sellers and some buyers were still going based off stuff that happened in the years before. So that's why I feel it took a long time for our industry to switch over to let's really talk about what's going on, right? And really give information of how everything was going to be influenced based on economical data, whatever was happening with the world and whatnot. But it wasn't until the end where I feel now consumers are starting to really try to understand what's happening, get into what the Fed is all about, what everybody's gonna, do moving forward. So I just feel that it took a little bit of time for consumers to pick up what was really happening. And then when they did, they were all like, well, where did it all go? Certain people have been saying this all year. People just don't go look for the research and they take it from people that aren't professionals. But at the same time, I feel doing the right research and listening to people that, you understand from, whether, they're, a real estate professional or someone you see on YouTube, just find someone that you're able to understand, the information from.
It takes time. I think that's one of the reasons why it's important that we started, you and I doing our little show, and that you did so many reels last year and Monday Mortgage, like kind of all together, but because there's so much information information out there, and it's hard sometimes to translate what comes out of Jerome Powell's mouth into how that affects people in their pocketbook and their monthly budget and on their actual firsthand account. So that was one of my other biggest takeaways was like just the Fed action. It was insane.
It's crazy how much influence he has.
There you
right?
go. Like the money printer finally stopped, and everybody just went, where'd the money go?
Yeah. Well, and to also be told that now we're just starting to see the impacts of that now starting off 2023. Back in their December meeting, it was like, oh yeah, we realized that the impact we hope that the increases had has not yet taken full effect in the market. I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me. We've had rate hikes since March. They've been the quickest they've ever been in recorded history, and we are just now starting to see them, and they have not made all the totality of impact. I'm like, whoa, okay. So there's a little forecasting there, but that really, honestly, I think summarized 2022 for me is...
that was a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. They had to do it. They consistently raised rates. They raised them a lot faster than they had in recorded history, and that we have not yet seen the peak of that, and we have not seen its measured impact in the market. So that is my number one nerd econ takeaway from 2022.
And big shout out to Monday Mortgage Minute, because if it wasn't for that, then half of that stuff I wouldn't have known. But now that I do watch it and I tune in every Monday, I know that I go research that information, take it a little further, do my own research, and then it all makes sense, right?
Yes.
And we have to do those things, right, Brian? Because
100%.
we're the ones that are on the trenches with our clients, and so we have to pass that information if they're not following mortgage.
100%. But thankfully, we got Andy to make sure that we're on top of our toes
Thank
on
you.
that.
Yeah. That's why
Andy.
That's why he lost his hair. We still have ours.
Yeah, and I was
Thanks
like,
for the research.
he
there,
told me,
partner.
hey, if you learn all this information, your hair's gonna go away. That was when I started
thanks.
in the industry, right? And I was like, bro, my hair's the only thing I got going on for me right now. You really want me to just start losing it? So I was like, make you a deal.
When your brain runs red hot, it burns your hair from the underneath.
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank you in advance for 2023.
yeah, right. Thank you so much.
Mental commitment.
Yeah, there you go. We'll continue to bring that
Thank
up.
you for my hair.
Let's talk about where we find ourselves at the beginning of 2023. So it's January 2023. Where are we right now with the market, with rates? And then let's talk about where we think the market's heading in 2023.
Okay, well, here, let me take a crack at that. I mean, what comes to mind right away is home prices are going to continue to decline, right? Mm-hmm. As long as rates are going up the way they're going, we have to find a better solution to our home buyers.
Yeah.
Right? They haven't gone down as drastically like that because, again, we're still facing the issues that we did in 2022, 2021, 2020, which is a shortage of homes.
Yep, 100%. 100%.
Still happening, guys. We're even seeing that with rents and everything. So that's one thing we can predict. Okay. Inflation. Hopefully inflation just remains or starts going down so we can see these rates going down. We don't have a sight for that. I mean, Jerome Powell, you just mentioned that he already predicting this is going to continue to 2024, right?
Yep.
And that is the most influential man there is in this world. So that guy just looks like a little worried. That's it. It changes the whole market, right?
Yep.
So how much influence? I wish I had that kind of influence where I just got home and I looked a little angry. My wife would cook for me or something, but I don't know. Hopefully we don't air that out. But
I don't know that you want to wear the shoes that guy's walking in right now.
Those are the things. And the other thing, most importantly, guys, is if the consumer continues to spend the way they're spending. Which is not going to see, that bag of rice that I used to buy for a cheaper price. Right. It's just going to continue to cost us more.
Right.
So
even the cost of living adjustment for senior citizens this year for Social Security went up by the highest it's ever gone up.
I saw that.
So, that right there, and that's just, one segment of our population, but for those people who rely on that Social Security check every single month to make ends meet, they're on fixed income. We in the industry call it fixed income for a reason, and their cost of living adjustment was the highest ever in recorded history. Wow. And it's like, that's what they have to do.
And they're fixed.
What's that?
And their fix is what's crazy.
Yeah. That no matter what, even if inflation keeps going up, your income isn't, so it's going to get more expensive, so more of your income goes towards.
And that's on top of the move just to try to normalize where the current expenses are as not even like a catch-up provision, because remember, that cost of living adjustment is made every fourth quarter of the prior year. So all 2022, they're dealing with 2021's cost of living adjustment in 2022's prices. And then in 2022, we have living adjustment for the 2023 prices. So that really was
that's a little scary. You mentioning that, Andy. I'm just kind of thinks, I
so
kind of start thinking about
things
that.
are going to be.
I don't know. I mean, if you go back to what he was saying about it, if inflation cools down, depending on how the consumer continues spending money, maybe it can slow down or maybe level off. But again, remember, until we start seeing a negative in front of a number like CPI or PPI or PC, until you see a negative, it actually isn't going down.
Correct.
It's still going up. It just may be slower, but any number in the positive is still an increase, not even a leveling off. It's an increase.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm a grandpa now, so my Social Security means I'm going to suffer, right? No.
Well, if we keep at this rate, I'm not going to have a Social Security.
And that's where I'm really going at, right? We just got to prepare for these things because these things are cycles. These things will continue to happen. I mean, hey, we have 4 seasons, throughout the year. Yeah. The market's going to have these seasons too. No matter what, they always say, hey, you're just going to get 4 to 6 years that we're going to go to market. Mm-hmm. And after that, it's going to be another 8, 10, or, whatever it is. Yeah. So those are things that we are going to go through these cycles, and so you bringing that up, history always repeats itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so now I'm caught that I'm getting closer to that. I'm not going to disclose my age here, but as you guys can see, I'm pretty close. But it just, we're going to need to save more. We're going to need to prepare.
Right.
Well, so here's the interesting thing that I think about that. You said, are we going to save more or are we going to make more, right? And I feel like right now is the opportunity to find those pockets or find those different ways of making money.
That's right.
While we have the SB9 rule, making ADUs, becoming it so easier to do it here in California. I mean, we still have tons of equity in houses, right? Yeah. Although they are starting to come down, but people could still tap into this equity and be able to, supplement their income, at least cut their mortgage payment and get some sort of help, because if your employment isn't giving it to you or if your job isn't giving it to you, where are you going to go? And I feel like if you don't take the time, if you're not in the right environment with the right people, listening to the right things, then you're just going to be part of the regular people that go and do the same thing, follow the herd and never figure it out. And at the end be like, well, why didn't no one ever tell me? Well, because I feel you never took the initiative to actually go out and look for that environment or the people.
But I think this year is going to be a year where a lot of that turns around for people, where maybe they weren't aware. I'm not going to say they were asleep necessarily, but they maybe didn't know how much these decisions would impact their life at the personal level, and it's starting to happen. And some people, they're going to feel it at the employment level first, where maybe they aren't going to have a job that they did, or maybe they're going to be leaving the company they've been with for a long time. And I think that's where it'll maybe first impact, and the second order effect would be at the home. Yeah. What we buy, what we don't buy, what we have to curb spending on. I think that's going to be a big thing for 2023 as I'm making my projections, is I think people are going to come to the reality of the actual long-term effects of inflation that happened in 2022, and some of it being sticky. Remember, they used to say transitory. Now they're saying sticky. It's like they're admitting that some of this is probably going to be lingering around, which means also we probably shouldn't expect inflation to just fall off a cliff. I don't think it will, because of this new stickiness we keep talking about. But I think people's realization of what that means in their personal life is going to be a huge theme, just in general, for consumers, people in real estate, people in mortgage, all industries in 2023.
Yeah. But I mean, overall, I feel some markets are going to take not a crash. And I feel like a lot of people are waiting for the market to crash, but it isn't going to crash because equity, the demand, and everything's still happening, that I feel it's going to take a dip. I also believe some places are going to take a bigger dip than other places, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
But on average, we're still about 6% higher than, most purchase price pre-pandemic levels. So it just goes to show that the demand's still there, the prices are still there, and although they're cooling off, they're not dropping or tanking like people would like them to, right? So I still think it's best to take it how it is right now. Don't try to time the market, but make sense. The numbers make sense, make sure the numbers make sense is what I'm trying to say, so that you aren't surprised at the end when things, don't go your way. Be prepared. That's honestly what I think, 2023 should be about, being prepared.
Being prepared.
At least one of the main things,
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm glad that you brought up the SB9, the SB10. I myself, I'm working on a project right now. We're building a couple of ADUs.
Right.
I have a couple of clients actually that did that, and I'm telling you, their retirement looks that much better. So that's great advice right there that you have, Brian. And those are true facts, right? Yep. With the rents being as high as they are, historically speaking, I've never seen them. It's pretty crazy when you're renting a 2-bedroom, 2-bath here in East Lake Chula Vista, and it's like $3,400.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Crazy.
100%.
But no, great information all the way around there.
So let's really quick pivot into what we think we're going to see as far as rates and the mortgage environment for the rest of 2023. I mean, I know we got 12 whole months. It's just January. It's the first week of January. But where do you think, knowing what we know and what we discussed, what do you think rates are going to do over the course of the year?
It's going to be a slowdown, definitely. Yeah. I mean, we refinanced practically the whole country in the last 2 years, right? Yeah. So we're definitely going to see it's not going to be what it was, right? I mean, even if we go back pre-pandemic, you're going to realize that we were busy, but it wasn't what we saw in 2020, 2021. I mean, that was insane market. Yeah. You know, I couldn't even go to the restroom without freaking answering my phone.
I just moved the desk downstairs in the bathroom. And I was like, I'll just hang out here. Yeah, you know, like.
But we were so fortunate, so blessed to have all of that and to be able to have helped a lot of people get one of the historical lowest 30-year fixed rates. Yeah. You know, it was great.
That was amazing.
2.25. What the heck? Yeah, people were like, "Whoa!"
Some
I was offered 1.99.
Yeah,
and 1.75. Oh my goodness! Here we go. That's what it is, right?
No, 100%.
But those are the things that we're gonna not see is gonna be, you know, a huge volume of business, real estate business. We're gonna see real estate business, and we're gonna work a little harder for it.
And that's one fact. That's one of the things. Someone moving for a specific reason. It may not be their dream to move, correct, but they may have to.
And that's one of the things where it's situational nowadays, where it's if you have to take out money because you got to pay down debt, or you can't pay your bills anymore, or you can't pay your house anymore and you got to sell. You know, these situations are going to start popping up. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that you said that we are going to see real estate business just because these last 2 years we saw like trillions of dollars being originated, and on average we originate 1 trillion.
Like a little over that, but
under 2 trillion is normal, and I think the record year was like 4.1 trillion or something crazy like
so
that.
So now that it comes right back down, everybody's going to be used to what they did last couple years. Yeah. But in the end, this is what's a normal market, right?
Right. So abnormal is not normal.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks to the pandemic, remote workers, low rates and loose monetary lending, strategies, like. Everything now is going to switch up, but I still feel the more that the more that you're going to be able to be dangerous out there. Like that's literally it.
I think we're going to have a battle of inventory, prices, and cost of money. Yeah. Right?
It's going to be like a real estate chess match.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive chess match because the market on its own is going to have to kind of find its feet. It's going to have to settle itself, and then people, the money makers, and the people with the big bags of money and the hedge funds that are putting money in places, you have to decide where is the best bang for my buck right now, short term. Where's the safest place for it long term? How much risk am I exposed to in all these various places? And that position of that money is going to determine what we see with rates. Yeah. I know that's super obvious mechanically speaking, but that honestly is going to be more important in 2023 than even it was in 2020 or 2021. Because when everything was so inexpensive to finance, it was obvious where to go. Right now, it's not obvious where to go. And you start seeing these glimpses of these hedge funds stacking tens of billions of dollars for residential purchases in the next 24, 36 months. And so they're planning on something. They're prepping for it. So I think that residential rates are going to stay plus or minus about 1% where they're at now. Yeah. They could break the bottom of where we're at on the low, and they could also break the top. Yeah. Depending on the amount of money that flows into the mortgage-backed security market or out of it. Yeah. And that is going to be contingent on a lot of other variables.
And I feel like it goes back to what you said earlier in the year, that there's going to be days and weeks where pricing is really good, some days where it's low, and some days where it stays the same. But that's why you need to be in contact with your loan officer or your realtor, because you don't know how quick things are changing. Right. And when we're in the forefront of all this, literally seeing it every day, every email that I get in the morning is about rate alert, like we might just kind of have an idea of what's going on, right?
Just a little.
So I encourage you guys to go out and reach out to your local realtors or professionals that you trust,
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. So we have just a couple minutes left, guys, but I wanted to talk about, I just wanted to ask you, what is, this is our first of an entire years of episodes we're going to do. Right. What is something that you're really looking forward to in 2023 that you would like to set your eyes on, and maybe our clients' eyes or our prospective clients? What is something you'd want them to set their focus and their eyes on in a positive way looking into 2023?
I'll take this one first.
Go.
So for me, like I said, I feel that the industry now is finally being open and telling the truth. And I'm not bashing on anybody. I just feel that it's our responsibility to put out the right information, guide the people in the right way, and ultimately help them, achieve their goals. So I'm most excited about, being able to provide content, information, and a community that gives you resources to be able to win in 2023. Without having to sugarcoat it, without having to, make it sound like, oh, it's too good to be true. The truth is the truth. And that's why what I feel that's what we're here to do, to tell the truth, guide our clients in the right way, and tell them, hey, if you don't like the truth, I'm sorry, but this is what it is. Good. But at the same time, giving them the opportunity to know what they need to do in order to accomplish their goals. Yeah. So I'm most excited to see, how much people we can impact, how much more people we can connect with, and how much more of our community we can continue to build.
Good. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, my excitement is to continue to build Mortgage Heroes, and to be a place of value, where people can go and they understand, like, where am I truly going to get a true, honest opinion, and who's going to help me build this other generational wealth, 100%. Right? Yep. So most lenders don't even talk about that. They talk about rates. They talk about, let me just get you into your home. Where we're talking about, let's forecast the future. What does that look like? Yep. How do we bring you more service, right?
100%.
A lot of us grew up with not much, and that was me. So with my experience of now buying properties, being in with mentorship groups, I just want to pass that information on to strengthen the knowledge of our database, our clients. Yeah. And we don't treat them as clients. We treat them like family, right?
100%. That's
So
right.
my excitement is I can't wait to see what 6-7 months looks like for now, because of all the knowledge that I'm continuing to study on, listen to, so that I can bring back that information, and we can just go out there and create a different environment, right? That's what it's about.
This is good, because you're walking right into the thing I was going to say. That's my most excited for 2023. Man, first show, perfect segue, awesome. Yeah. It is us being able to bring all of this cumulative decades of experience to the table to help people before it's too late. Yeah. That's what I'm excited about, because I know that not every single one of our clients is going to have their dream year in 2023, but the ones who might be having a difficulty or challenge that we can still help before it's too late, that's what I'm most excited about. And that gap is covered by people talking about what's going on in the market, because whether we say one thing in marketing space or in video space, and then you actually bring your situation to us, we go, oh, it's a totally different story. Yeah. Like, that doesn't help anybody. Yeah. So I think that our combined experience, now your youth and your vigor and your energy and your experience brought into the mix is actually going to be really helpful, because the gap between people getting help that they need and or knowing they need help and getting it is really just them asking. Exactly. It's just them asking us. So the more I think we do this, the more that they feel comfortable in asking and raising their hand. I think that's how we're going to help people win in 2023, exactly. And I'm stoked about that.
So, hey, I'd like to actually discuss, when you were saying that about Brian, I just remember his superpower. It's like his hair. His hair color.
Hey, well, this hair color actually brings me a lot of attention.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I think it's a superpower right there for you, Brian.
Super duper power.
It just, you're like one of those, like Superman puts a cape on, you put a color on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah.
I think next episode, guys, you're just going to see me in a red, white, and blue color scheme. So just stay tuned. Or sometime down the year, right? I don't know. You're just going to have to tune in and watch my hair.
That's it. So, one of my superpowers is my energy, right? I just want to bring that energy, want to make sure that we all get it. So I want to transfer that over to everyone. So what's yours, Andy?
Oh, mine. I'm Professor X. You guys know that. I'm Professor X. My job is to put the best of you in the best place possible to help the situation at hand.
Andy, please get out of my head now.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, is that why I kind of said what I said earlier? I was just tripping out on that. Yeah, like
that's why I was looking at Andy. I'm like,
I like that. That's
no, but besides my hair being my superpowers, actually, I was having a conversation with my buddy today, and I asked him, "What's your superpower?" And he asked me, and I told him my superpower, I believe, is creating relationships, maintaining relationships, and making people feel comfortable. Yeah. And based off of that, then I'm able to help people. And actually understanding their vulnerabilities is what helps me get success and actually get to the root of what the people's goals are, and provide options, provide solutions, and not just be like, hey, I think this is what you want.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome because you know what they say in life? Your network is
Your net worth.
Your net worth. Yeah. Man, this was a great first show, guys. I know that we didn't go into a lot of super detail. We will do that later. I wanted to just kind of come out the gate first week of 2023 with something to introduce the new show and just give everyone a chance to share what they think is happening. So we will be back again next week. Memo, thank you so much. Brian, thank you guys. Have a great week, everybody, and we will see you again next week.